50 blog posts, 1 month, 1 AI system, no writers, no agency, no manually staring at a blank document at 2 a.m., wondering if this is actually a business or just a very expensive hobby. I want to tell you exactly what happened, including the parts that didn't go the way I planned. Because if you've been trying to use AI to create content that actually ranks on Google, you've probably already hit the same wall I did. The content comes out. It sounds fine. You publish it, and then nothing happens. No traffic, no rankings. Your Google Search Console looks like a flat line. That is not an AI problem. That is a workflow problem. And that's exactly what this video is about. By the end of this, you're going to understand the exact system I used to produce 50 articles in 1 month. What ranked, what didn't, what I'd do differently. And the one thing nobody tells you about scaling AI content that completely changed how I think about this entire model. Stay with me. This one's worth it. Quick context before we get into the system. I run an online content operation. The goal is simple: organic Google traffic, monetized through affiliate products and display advertising, high CPM categories. We're talking AI tools, software, business productivity, the kind of audience that advertisers actually pay for. Before I built this system, I was producing around 8 to 10 articles a month, manually. That means prompting the AI, editing the output, formatting, adding internal links, sourcing images, uploading. Each article taking anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the complexity of the topic. 8 to 10 articles a month is not a content strategy. That's a job you gave yourself with no boss, no benefits, and no ceiling. So the question I kept coming back to was this: can I 5 times my output without 5 timesing my time? And the answer, as it turns out, is yes. But it requires building a system, not just using a chatbot. Let me address this first because it's important. Most people who try to scale AI content fail, not because the AI is incapable. They fail because they're treating AI like a magic button. They open ChatGPT, they type, "Write me a 1,500 word article about the best AI tools for small businesses." They get something back that sounds reasonable, they publish it, and Google ignores it completely. Why? Because that article has no context, no internal relevance, no unique angle, no authority signals that tie it to anything specific. It reads like every other article already indexed on that topic because it essentially is just rearranged. What actually works is giving the AI enough specific, granular context that the output becomes something Google hasn't seen before. That means your internal link structure, your monetization angle, your competitors' content gaps, the questions your target keyword isn't currently answering on page 1. When AI gets that level of context alongside the prompt, it stops producing generic filler and starts producing something that actually fits into a specific content ecosystem. That's the unlock, and that is what this entire system is built on. There are 4 components to this system. Component 1, keyword research and topic selection. Component 2, context injection. Component 3, automated drafting and formatting. Component 4, publishing pipeline. I'm going to break each one down specifically. Vague explanations are useless. You need to be able to take this and actually run it. I am not chasing 50,000 searches per month keywords. That is a waste of time for any site that isn't already a domain authority powerhouse. What I target is the 800 to 3,000 monthly search range. Real traffic potential, weak to medium competition, keywords where you can actually compete. My process: I take 3 to 5 competitor sites in my niche and drop them into Ahrefs one by one. I pull their top ranking pages sorted by organic traffic. I'm specifically looking for keywords where the ranking page has a domain rating similar to mine or lower, because that's where I can win. If you don't have Ahrefs, Google's own keyword planner gets you 80% of the way there for free. It's less precise, but it works. I've ranked content sourced entirely from keyword planner data. I export 80 to 100 candidates. Then I filter down to 50 based on one single criteria. Does this keyword have a specific, answerable question behind it? If yes, it stays in. If it's too broad or too competitive for where my site currently sits, it gets cut. That filtered list becomes the content plan. 50 topics, one spreadsheet, the foundation of the entire month. This is the step most people skip entirely, and it is the reason this system works when others don't. Before the AI writes a single word, I feed it context. 4 specific inputs. First, internal link structure. I have a text file containing every important URL on my site, every category page, every affiliate product page, every cornerstone article. This gets fed to the AI so it can link internally in a way that actually makes topical sense. Second, niche framing. A short paragraph describing what the site is, who it serves, what tone it takes. This stops the AI from writing in a voice that doesn't match your brand. Third, monetization angle. If I want the article to drive affiliate clicks to a specific tool or product, I tell the AI explicitly. It will then work that recommendation in naturally rather than forcing me to retrofit it after the fact. Fourth, competitor gap analysis. For each keyword, I look at the top 3 ranking articles and ask, what question are they not answering? What format are they missing? What angle hasn't been covered? That gap becomes the unique hook for my version. When the AI receives all 4 of these inputs alongside the writing prompt, the output stops being generic. It becomes specific. It becomes yours. And that specificity is what Google rewards. Now the actual automation. And I want to address something before I get into this. When I say Python script, I can already hear half of you reaching for the back button. Don't! You do not need to know how to code to use this. I didn't write this script from scratch. I had AI write it for me. I'll leave the setup instructions in the description. If you can copy and paste and change a file name, you can run this. Here's what the script does. It reads the content plan from a spreadsheet file. The 50 topics we built in step 1. For each topic, it pulls the relevant context files, the internal links, the niche framing, the monetization angle. It sends all of that to the OpenAI API using GPT-4. It receives back a fully formatted article in Markdown, and it saves it to a new file ready to convert to web format and publish. The prompt structure inside the script matters enormously. I'm not just saying write an article. The prompt tells the AI, write from a first-person plural perspective, include these internal links naturally, place a key takeaways table at the top of the article, include a formatted FAQ section at the bottom for featured snippet eligibility, use Markdown headers, bullet points, and comparison tables where relevant and never invent links, or image URLs. That last instruction, never invent links, is critical. If you don't specify this, GPT will fabricate URLs, and you will spend hours cleaning up broken links. Explicit instruction kills the behavior. Each article takes 3 to 4 minutes to generate via the API. 50 articles is roughly 3 to 4 hours of total runtime. The API cost for the entire batch came to around $14. I want you to think about what an agency would charge for 50 articles. We're talking $4,000 to $10,000. I paid $14. Once the drafts are generated, there's still a pipeline to get them live cleanly. I use a Markdown to HTML converter. There are free ones online to take each article from the raw Markdown output and convert it into clean HTML, ready to paste directly into a content management system. Images I handle separately. I use an AI image generator to create a featured image for each article, named with the exact target keyword for SEO purposes. That goes in as the hero image. For in-article visuals, I either use relevant screenshots or tool interface images where appropriate. Then it's upload, add the meta description, which the AI also generates as part of the prompt, set the internal links, and publish. My actual hands-on time per article, once the system is running, is about 8 to 12 minutes. That includes the read-through, minor edits, image upload, and publishing. 50 articles at 10 minutes each is roughly 8 hours of total manual work spread across the month. That's one full workday for a month's worth of content. Here's the honest breakdown of the output quality. Of the 50 articles generated, 38 came out clean on the first pass. Good structure, relevant internal links placed naturally, correct formatting, on topic throughout. Those I could publish with a quick read-through and an image. About 10 needed moderate fixes. Usually the internal links were contextually close but not precise. The AI picked a related page when I wanted a specific one. Easy 5-minute manual correction. 2 were unusable. The AI completely missed the angle on a pair of niche-specific topics where I hadn't given it enough granular context. I rewrote those with tighter prompts and they came out fine on the second pass. So the real number isn't 50 perfect articles on autopilot. It's 38 great, 10 good with minor fixes, and 2 that needed rework. That is still more output than most content teams produce in 3 months, and I'm counting that as a win. This is the part you came for. I published all 50 articles across the first 3 weeks of the month, roughly 15 to 17 per week. Indexing speed was the first thing I monitored. Within 48 hours, 30 of 50 were indexed by Google. That was faster than I expected for a site that was still building domain authority. By end of week 2, 47 out of 50 were indexed. The 3 that lagged were on subtopics with weaker internal linking pointing to them, a lesson I applied going forward. Week 3, I saw the first ranking movement. Long-tail terms first, which is exactly what should happen. The 800 to 1,500 search per month targets started appearing in positions 15 to 30, not page 1 yet, but movement is the signal. Movement means Google has found you and is deciding where to put you. By end of month 1, 11 articles were on page 1, 6 of those were in the top 5 positions. 2 landed in featured snippet boxes, the question and answer blocks at the top of the search results, which is where click-through rate jumps significantly. Overall site traffic more than doubled compared to the previous month. Now let me be straight with you about the other 39. Most of them are still climbing. SEO is not a 30-day return. A lot of those articles are in positions 12 to 25 and moving. I would expect a significant portion to hit page 1 by the 90-day mark, but I want you to have accurate expectations going in. This is not a get-rich-overnight system. It is a get-rich systematically system. The difference matters. 3 specific things I would change. First, topic-specific context files, instead of 1 global context file. The articles that underperformed almost always had a mismatch between the generic context I gave the AI and the specific angle required for that keyword. Going forward, every topic cluster gets its own context snippet. Second, a steadier publishing cadence. Publishing 50 articles in 3 weeks is aggressive. 12 to 15 per week would have given Google more time to crawl and process each article properly. Some of the later index articles likely got buried in the volume spike. Third, images as part of the pipeline, not an afterthought. The articles I added quality images to, with proper keyword-optimized alt text, indexed faster, and ranked higher. That correlation was clear enough that I've now built image generation directly into the automation. The AI names the file, generates the prompt, and I batch the images the night before publishing. Here's what this experiment actually proved. 50 articles a month is not the limit. It's just the starting point. The system I built can run 150 if I scale the context quality to match. The constraint is no longer time or money. It's specificity of input and quality control on output. The people who are going to win with AI content over the next 2 years are not the ones generating the most volume. They're the ones giving their AI the most precise, accurate, niche-specific context. That is the only moat that matters. And right now, almost nobody is building it properly. The prompt structure I use, the script setup guide, and the context file template are all in the description. Free, no email required, no course to buy. I'll be running a 90-day follow-up on these same 50 articles, showing you exactly where each one landed, which ones kept climbing, and whether the system held up at higher volume. If you want to see that, you know what to do. That's everything. See you in the next one.